Hello, my name is Dr. Prashant Upadhyay and I welcome you all on this course of Introduction to Python Programming and its application. So today we will be talking about the Pandas. So as we are aware that Pandas is the Python data analysis library and it has been used for data analysis. So we will going to go into the history of the Pandas. What was the history of the Pandas? So we can say that the Panda is a very fast, powerful and flexible and easy to use open source tool or a library which are being used for data analysis. So basically when we are talking about the Pandas, we can say that Panda make your work easier. Okay, for example, if you are dealing with some data, okay, and you want to handle that data, so handling that data is not that much easy in the other, like when we are talking with respect to the SQL or the Excel file. But what the Panda is providing you, the Panda is providing you the fast implementation of converting that data into a data frame. Now we will going to talk about the timeline of a Pandas. We are talking about the timeline of the Pandas. So Panda started in the 2008 and in 2009 the Panda became the open source. The first edition of a Python for data analysis was published in 2012 and in 2015 Panda became a num focus sponsored project. So we will be talking about the num focus sponsored project. So basically the mission of the num focus is to promote open practice in a research where you can use the data, you can use the open source tools. By using these open source tools, okay, you can work on the open source project and you can run into or you can organize some community driven education program using this num focus project. If we talking about from Netflix, which you are using, to the space agency like NASA, okay, they are using this open source tools to solve most of the challenging problems. Okay, so you can visit this page and find out more about this detail of the num focus. Then we are talking about that in 2018 first in-person code development sprint was developed. So these were some of the timelines of the Pandas. Maybe somebody can ask you that when the Pandas become the open source. Okay, so in 2009 the Panda become an open source. So when we are talking about some library highlights of a Pandas, so why these Pandas are becoming more powerful tool. So in general when we are talking about the Pandas, so when we are talking about the Pandas, what we are saying that Panda contains the data structure and the data manipulation tool is been designed to make the data cleaning and it provide you the fast analysis of a data when we are talking with respect to the Python. Pandas often uses a numerical computing tool like NumPy, SciPy, and it also uses the analytic library like Stasso models and Skitlearn. And when we are talking about the data visualization library like Matplotlib, okay, so Panda is very much familiar and very easy to use along with these libraries. There are the difference between the Pandas and the NumPy is that NumPy, when we are talking about the NumPy, we say that NumPy is been best suited for working in the homogeneous type numerical data. However, in Pandas we can work with the tabular data or we can work with the heterogeneous data. So when we are coming to the library highlights, so we can say that the Pandas are providing you the fast and efficient data frame object for doing the data manipulation and integrating the indexing. Then we are talking about the reading and writing of our data between in-memory data structure and different format we can use, like we can read the CSV file, we can read the text file, okay, we can use the Microsoft Excel file, we can use the SQL database, even we can use the SDF5 formats. Okay, so we can with the help of a Pandas we can read all these files and we can do the operation on these file. Then we are talking about with respect to the data alignment, and Pandas provide you the data alignment means that we have to how we can arrange the data. So how this data is been stored in the memory or how the data is been organized in the memory, that can also be done easily with the help of a Pandas, and it is also helpful in finding out the or handling the missing data. So we can use some statistical analysis models to fill that missing data, or we can also remove the missing data if not required. Function that we can use in the Pandas is the reshaping of a data set. So if we require to reshape the data, we can easily use the Pandas library to reshape the data. And then we can use the slicing option. Okay, we can provide the our own indexing to the data. Okay, and it is very much helpful when we are dealing with the large data. Okay, so reading the large data file is not that much easy when we are going for the program. So how to handle that large file? So in that scenario, the Panda is one of the main tool which has been used in the Python. Again, when we are talking about the Pandas, we can say that the columns can be inserted and deleted from the data structure. Okay, so we can talk about the size mutability. So if we want the particular columns to be deleted, or we want the particular columns to be inserted in the data set, we can do it with the help of a Pandas. And finally, we can say that for highly optimizing the performance, we are using the Pandas. Okay, so Panda is compatible with this Python and C programming language. So when we are talking about the installation of a Pandas, we say that when you have to install the Pandas, you have to write a command pip install Pandas, and when you have to work on the Pandas, you have to write import Pandas as PD. Then we are talking about the basic data structure that is being provided in the Pandas. So generally we are talking with respect to the two classes that Panda is providing to handle the data. One is known as the series. So when we are talking about a series, we are saying it is a one-dimensional labeled array that is holding the data of any type, whether it is an integer, string, or Python object. And second is your data frame. When we are talking about a data frame, we are saying it is a two-dimensional data structure that hold data like a two-dimensional array. That means we are talking with respect to the tabular method, or we are saying that we are talking with respect to the row and column. Okay, so thank you very much. We will going to see the hands-on session on the series data and the data frame in the next lecture. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture.